So if you thought buying a cheap ultrasonic parking sensor system for your car, such as this one here, might not be a great idea in regards to how well the system might work, then as you're about to see, buying a cheap product doesn't always mean it's not going to be a good product. This parking system is not only simple to install, but it also works really well. Not only does it give you a visual warning on the display, but the buzzer, which is very loud, also provides you with an audible warning as well, which anybody from outside the vehicle can very easily hear. Hey guys, and welcome back to another video. If you're new here, hello and welcome to my channel, and I hope you like today's video. If you like smart home and automotive technology content, then hit that subscribe button, because that's what you're going to see on this channel. In today's video, I'm going to be reviewing and installing this car reversing ultrasonic parking system. This system is the Sinovcle brand. You guys may have seen these advertised online, as they are a really big brand and are available from just about everywhere. This parking system, just like all the others, works using 4 ultrasonic sensors, which connect to the main controller, and then this connects to a separate external visual and audible display. As your car reverses up to an obstacle, the ultrasonic sensors detect this and notify you of the object in a number of different ways through this external display. These parking systems have been around for a very long time, and so now are very affordable to purchase. And from my experience, some of them work considerably better than others do, but in the way that they work is all the same. So although this parking system is designed to be fitted and used at the rear of the car, this does not mean it cannot be installed and used at the front of the car either. And that's exactly what I'm going to be using it for, a parking system for the front of my car. So why is that? Well, because I already have a rear view camera installed at the rear of my car, and it also has ultrasonic parking sensors built into it as well, and it works great. And if you follow this channel, you would have probably already seen my installation video for that. And for those of you that do follow this channel, may now be thinking, yes, but you have also made an installation video of you installing a camera into the front of your car as well. Do you not have that anymore? And you're right. And yes, I still have it, and here it is, my front view camera that I installed to the front of my vehicle a few months ago, and it still works great. So what do I need a parking system installed at the front of my car for then? Well, that's a good question, and the simple answer is the camera at the front of my car cannot be used as an accurate guide when parking, because 1, it has no parking guidelines, as you can see, and 2, the objects seem closer than they are due to the lens of the camera, but that's expected with cameras. The best parking system for your car is to use both a camera and parking sensors at the front and the back of the car. This gives you a visual and audible guide to use when parking your car. Of course, the latest parking systems now, being used by a lot of car manufacturers, are the 360-degree parking systems, which use cameras all around the car. And yes, as soon as I can find a 360-degree parking system that I like, you can be assured there will definitely be a review and installation video for that coming to this channel. So if you're watching this video and you are a manufacturer of Aftermarket 360-degree camera systems, then my email address is in my profile. So I'm not going to be removing my front view camera from the car, I'm just going to be adding this parking system to the car to use as a more accurate guide when driving up close to an object at the front of the car. Okay, that's one reason, and the other reason is because this is a technology channel, so of course I'm installing this for you, so you can see how well this product works, in case you're wanting to install a car parking system like this on your own vehicle as well. Okay, so before I start with the installation, I'm just going to give you guys a quick review of the specs first. This system does not come in a box, and it doesn't really include an instruction manual either. All there is this piece of paper, which is just a simple guide, but the instructions are very limited. However, this is so easy to set up that fortunately instructions are not really that important for this product. Okay, so first of all, these ultrasonic sensors require you to drill 4 holes in your bumper, and the size of those holes need to be 22mm, and a 22mm hole saw is supplied with the kit. Okay, the parking sensors that are supplied with the kit come on long 2.5 meter long cables. The detection distance is rated from 0 to 2.5 meters. It's also advertised as being able to detect small objects including bars, which sounds great because not all of these systems work well when trying to detect thinner objects such as bars and poles, so we will definitely be putting that to the test later on. When an object is detected, it will also display the distance between your car and the object numerically for you as well, meaning it will give you the physical measurement of the distance on the display, which is a great feature. And I also have that feature with my reversing camera in my car now, and I use it all the time and it works really well. The car parking system is also only designed for 12 volt systems, and the external display here is nice and small in size at 6.8 centimeters long by 2.8 centimeters high. And as for the cost, the price was $17 and free shipping was included. Like I said before, these systems have been around for a very long time and so are now very affordable to purchase. Okay, that covers the specs. Now let's get stuck into the installation, as there's quite a bit of work to be done. Okay, so the first thing I need to do is mark out where the holes need to be drilled, which, as you can see, I have already done. And if you have never installed one of these parking systems before, then there are some very important things you need to know, starting with the angle and the height that the sensors need to be mounted at. So when installing an ultrasonic parking system kit, you want to make sure that the sensors are not mounted too high. This is because if the sensors are mounted too high, they are not going to be able to detect low objects. The recommended height is between 50 to 60 centimeters from the ground up to the sensor. For most vehicles that's possible, but not always. So just remember, installing the sensors higher does not mean the system can't be used, it just means low objects such as high curbs won't be detected. Now, in regards to the angle of the sensors, you want to keep them as flat as possible, like that. If your car's design won't allow you to do that, then facing them downwards a little bit is not going to be a big problem. However, mounting the sensors facing upwards is not what you want to do, as this is again going to make it impossible for low objects to be detected. And it's also important to note that these sensors only mount one way up, which is indicated on the back of the sensor. As you can see when I bring it up to the camera, just focus it, it says up on the back of the sensor there. So make sure it's facing up like that. And as for the spacing of the sensors, a lot of people would tell you they must be mounted evenly apart. And while that would definitely be the best way to mount them for the best performance of the system, it is unfortunately not always possible for all vehicles, including mine. And so therefore you will see with a lot of cars the sensors are not mounted evenly apart. However, the spacing between the center sensors and the corner sensors must be the same on both sides. And remember, it's extremely important you check the measurements over and over again before you start drilling, because you only have one chance to get this right. Okay guys, I finally got the bumper off the car. It's actually really easy to do on this car, as you've probably seen in previous installations on this channel. So now it's time to start drilling the holes. Okay, as you can see, all 4 holes have now been drilled. So now it's time to mount the ultrasonic sensors into the bumper. Okay guys, so I'm just going to slide each sensor into its hole. It is quite a tight, like a firm fit when you push it in there. But I would also recommend putting maybe a cable tie or something like that around the back of it, so it definitely can't move, even though it is pretty tight, but just to be safe. And just remember to make sure the word up is facing up, like that. Right, so I'll just do the other 3 sensors, and then I can put the bumper back on the car again. Okay guys, just before I mount the bumper back onto the car, I'm just going to show you how I've mounted the sensors. Just got a cable tie around each sensor, and then I've just taped the cables down to the back of the bumper just to keep everything tidy. Okay, and now it's time to mount the bumper. And as you can see, the bumper is now fitted back to the car, and now it's time to install the interface. I'm going to mount this interface inside the engine bay, because I don't want to try and run 4 cables through the firewall, because that's just a nightmare. So what have we got here? We've got 1, 2, 3, 4. These 4 ports here are where the ultrasonic sensors plug into. This blue port is not used on this model. Maybe it's for some other type of external buzzer or something like that. I don't know. There's nothing, the instructions don't mention it at all. This port here is where the external display plugs into, and that's going to go inside the car. And this is just your power and ground. Okay, and the control interface has now been mounted. Just on the side there, in the engine bay next to the water bottle. That seemed to be a good place for it. It's not going to get any water in there, hopefully. So now all I need to do is run the wires through the firewall for the power, the ground, and the external display. So I'm going to do that now. And then after that, I'm going to mount the external display probably somewhere on the dashboard. That's just so I know where I need to get the wires up to be able to connect it to the interface. Right, so I've got the wires run through the firewall. It wasn't too much of a major problem. And as far as mounting the external display, I've just decided to put it up here. next to my head-up display. So now all I've got to do is wire everything up. As you can see, the car's in a million pieces again. And after that, everything is ready for testing. One very important thing that I forgot to mention before is the ultrasonic sensors, these four here. They need to plug into the main control interface in a special order, 1 to 4. This is probably obvious, but the only way to know what order they plug into is to test the system to find out, because they're not actually numbered. It's not a big issue, because plugging the sensors in the wrong order won't damage anything, it just won't work properly. Okay guys, and the installation is now finished. I'm just in the process of putting the car back together, as you can see. So I've got my display mounted up on my dashboard there. In regards to how am I powering it up, if you've seen my other videos, you'll know that the switch down here, if I pull it backwards, it activates my rear view camera, and if I push it forward, it activates my front view camera. And now it also activates my parking system. So I can turn that on and off with that switch. So that's how I've got that working. So yeah, now I'm just going to put the car back together again, and then we're going to go to a car park and a few other places so we can test out the system and see how well it works. Okay guys, now that the car is back together again, we will go for a drive to test it out. But before we do that, there's actually one test we should do here in the garage first, so we can see what the side coverage is like. So we're going to test it out now, as it's important to know this. And for this test, I'll be demonstrating it on the right hand side of the car. Okay, so I'm just going to turn the parking system on. And as you can see, the parking system has detected an object on the right hand side of the car. This is actually just a shelf that I have put there. And now I'm going to show you how close this is to the car. And this is the shelf that I've got set up next to the side of the car, just to demonstrate this. So as you can see, this is how far to the side of the car the parking sensors can detect the side object. This is perfect for reversing out of a car park when you have one car on either side of you and you're turning the steering wheel to pull the front of the car around. It's easily going to detect how far away the front of your car is from the car next to you, which is even better if you have a big car with a very long nose. And this distance here is identical for the left-hand side as well. It's important to remember though that this distance is only for how this parking system is set up on this car only. Obviously if the parking sensors were mounted like around the side of the bumper more, then the distance would be different to what you're seeing demonstrated now. However, moving the sensors around to the side of the bumper is not the correct way to install one of these parking sensor systems. The side sensors are designed to be mounted just on the corner of the bumper. Obviously this bumper has a lot of corner shape to it, but where I have placed them worked out to be perfect. Okay, and now I've demonstrated the side coverage for you, it's time for some outside testing. So let's go for a drive. Okay guys, we're now outside and I'm going to do 3 tests. 1 against a wall, which is what we're against right now. 2 against a car or a truck. And 3, I'm going to go and try and find a pole somewhere so we can test it out as well. So we're going to start off with the wall test. Okay, so first of all, I'm going to drive up to this wall. So let's see how far the parking system, or how close the parking system, will get us to the wall. Obviously these systems are also designed with a safety gap, so it's not going to get us right up to the wall, it's just going to get us pretty close to the wall within a safe distance. So let's try it. Turn it on first and drive up to the wall. Like all these type of safety systems, you guys want to take it slowly and don't be fully reliant on it. Just like the blind spot monitoring system as well, no different. So it looks really close now. Okay, let's see how close we are to the wall. Okay, we're pretty close. It's probably around about 250 to 300 millimeters away from the wall. So it's close, but it's safe. Okay, now let's go and find a car or a truck. Okay, I found a nice big truck, as you can see in front of us. So this will be a good test. Let's see how close the parking system will get us to the truck. I hate doing these tests because that's not my truck. So the system better be reliable. Let's turn it on and drive up to the truck. Oh my god, I'm so scared. scared now. It looks so close. Oh my god. Okay. Let's get out and see how close we are. Okay, and it's pretty much the same distance as it was with the wall. Okay, I found some poles, and they're quite good sizes as well, nice and thin. Usually these systems are not good at detecting thin objects like this, so this is going to be interesting. Okay, let's drive up to the pole. Very, very slowly. And it's not detecting the pole as I expected. Oh yes it is, I'll take that back. My apologies. Oh, that looks close. Do I go further? Why not? Whoa, okay. That looks pretty close. Let's get out and see how far away we are from the pole. Okay, and again, just like the truck and the wall, the distance is the same. So that's good, the system actually does detect thin poles. Okay guys, I'm going to do one more test, and let's just drive up to this big blue rubbish bin in front of me. But this time I'm going to turn on the camera as well, so you guys can see how far it is on the camera compared to the parking sensor system. So let's drive up to the bin and see what happens. As you can see in the camera, that looks like it's really, really close. Looks like you're virtually on top of the rubbish bin right now. Okay, let's get out and see how close we are to the bin. And again, it's exactly the same as the wall and the truck, as I expected. So this system actually works really well. Okay guys, and we have now come to the end of another video. So this Sinovcle parking system, as you have seen, works really well. So if you're looking to install an ultrasonic parking system to your car and you think this one would be perfect for it, then I'll put a link in the description below to where I purchased it from. I've been driving around trying to find a curb to demonstrate with, like a high curb, but I couldn't find one. These ultrasonic parking systems do not detect your average height curbs. As you might be able to see here on my front view camera, I'm actually parked up against a curb right now, and the parking system is completely quiet. While I do like this parking system, in my personal opinion, when you're using this as a standalone device, and when I say that I mean you don't have a front view camera installed as well, then I would like to see a bigger display screen. A small screen has its advantages for installing it into small areas, yes, but the dashboard is huge, and when mounted on the dashboard, a bigger display would be better, but that's just my personal opinion. The built-in buzzer itself is good. As you have seen in this video, it's loud, very loud. People walking around the outside of the car are definitely going to hear it, and that's a good thing, as it's a great safety feature. Obviously having a camera as well as a parking sensor system is a huge bonus, because I can just listen to the buzzer beeping on the parking system display, and as I get closer to an object, if I can't see that object clearly that it's warning me about, I can just look at the camera view instead. I think a camera with a parking sensor system is still the best way to go, but just using the parking system alone is still a great device to have installed in your car. Anyway guys, thank you so much for watching. If you liked this video or found it helpful, then please like, share and subscribe to the channel, where you can watch even more videos, which I upload every week, and I hope to see you all in the next video.